Welcome, and how are you doing on your part of the world? This is Keep Me Computing, and today we'll be looking at the NVIDIA GeForce 1050 Ti. And this is a ultimate comparison list of all the variants of the 1050 Ti available on the market today by different manufacturers. This will be a visual comparison of all the boost clocks in megahertz, as well as the different cooling solutions and different variants of the 1050 Ti out there offered by the different manufacturers. So right off the bat, we notice three low profile solutions for the 1050 Ti offered by Gigabyte, MSI and Galax. Three low profile 1050 Ti cards suitable for very small form factor computers. All the dual fan cooling solutions come in 90mm fan sizes, with some exceptions such as the Zotac overclock edition, which comes in two 70mm fan sizes. The GTX 1050 Ti is a very capable performer, capable of playing today's games and turning any PC into a gaming PC due to its low power consumption. Some of these cards, even the fastest ones, run without any additional power supply connectors and run straight off the PCIe slot. The GTX 1050 Ti is based on the NVIDIA Pascal GPU architecture, and all the cards here sport 4GB DDR5, and most of them, if not all, use 128-bit pipeline width. The card is referenced stock at 1392 boost clock megahertz and a base clock of 1290 boost clock megahertz. The 1050 Ti comes using 768 unified shaders or 768 CUDA cores. The 1050 Ti is not SLI ready, it's not SLI capable, also not NVIDIA VR ready. The 1050 Ti supports Microsoft DirectX 12 API as well as Vulkan API. The operating system certified for the 1050 Ti is Windows 7 till Windows 10, Linux as well as FreeBSD. The display support is 7680 pixels by 4320 pixels at 60 Hz. For the reference card, 75 watt is all the 1050 Ti draws. Looking at the 1050 Ti cards, there's a myriad of choices, offering dual fan configurations, single fan and low profile solutions. Aesthetically, there are cards with RGB lighting, backplate, as well as sporting a myriad of finishes. Great for various aesthetic choices to suit your build. The fastest of the low profile cards is by Gigabyte at 1442 MHz boost clock, followed by Galax at 1417 MHz and MSI at the stock reference boost clock 1392. Very interesting to note the Asus cards in terms of Expedition, Dual and Phoenix all sport the NVIDIA stock reference of 1392 boost clock speeds. If you're looking for the smaller single fan form factor 1050 Ti cards, all of them sport the referenced NVIDIA 1392 boost clock speeds, with the exception of EVGA's SC Gaming, which sports a boost clock speed of 1468 MHz, as well as the Zotac Mini coming in second fastest of the single fan small form factor 1050 Ti's at 1417 boost clock megahertz. So let's have a quick final look for now at the various speeds and fan configurations of the 1050 Ti's. These are the three fastest 1050 Ti's, all at 1506 boost clock megahertz. These are the three fastest 1050 Ti cards, And we're looking at the Gigabyte G1 Gaming, the Zotac Overclock Edition, and the Asus Republic of Gamers Strix card. All these three cards have an overclock boost of 1506 MHz, and these are the fastest 1050 Ti cards. And we look at the Gigabyte G1 Gaming first, and the clock speed of the Gigabyte G1 Gaming is 1506 MHz and a gaming boost of 1480 MHz. And the memory is a 4GB DDR5 with 128-bit pipeline width, and the fan is the Windforce Gigabyte design, which is a 90mm fans, two of them, but uniquely one fan spins in the opposite direction. There's a 16.8 million customizable color lighting. The backplate is metal protection, and through the Gigabyte GPU gauntlet sorting, the G1 guarantees higher overclocking capabilities according to their website. And looking at the G1 Gaming 4GB in depth, we can see that the card is predominantly black with orange accents, and interestingly is very fundamentally Gigabyte. These are the two bits that light up, which is the Gigabyte word and the fan stop word. These are the only two bits that light up. There's a 6-pin power connector, as you can note. This is the backplate. Again, very Gigabyte in design, fundamentally sound. These are the outputs with 3 HDMI, DVI-D output. And looking at the presentation or the key features, obviously you have the basic NVIDIA features, as this is a 1050 Ti NVIDIA card. It's based on a Pascal architecture. We look at the Windforce 2X cooling system. So there's two 90mm unique blade fans, and one of the fans spins in a different direction to minimize air turbulence, according to Gigabyte. And the fan blade design improves airflow by 23% over traditional fans, according to Gigabyte. And the fan stop is a lighting that stops when the fan is on, and when the fan is off, the lighting comes up. So basically an indicator. Which is pretty unique. Looking at the composite heat pipe, this is the design, and also we look at the direct contact of the heat pipe direct touch, which is similar to the Asus, actually very similar. And we look at the spectrum of the lighting for the Gigabyte. As before, these two words are the only bits that light up, and these 5 modes of lighting effects, which we saw before, was the dual flash, which flashes twice like that in a specified color. And we have the constant on static light, the flash, single flash, and the breathing fading in and out gradually to mimic breathing, and the cycling of all the colors as the lighting cycles through all the colors, which is pretty interesting because Gigabyte has 2 words that light up in comparison to the Asus, which only has 1. That color matches the accents pretty nicely. And we look at the metal backplate protection, typical Gigabyte design, very fundamental. The one-click super overclocking on the Extreme Engine utility, the software offered by Gigabyte, and the GPU gauntlet sorting, which Gigabyte taught guarantees high overclocks. The components, and uniquely this has 4+1 power phase, similar, exactly the same, I should say, as the Asus Strix, and this is their software for overclocking. Now we look at the Zotac overclocking edition. This is the 1050 Ti with 1506 boost speed, same as the other two. So this is one of the three fastest 1050 Ti's currently. But uniquely, this is a very small design and only has two 70mm fans. Same 128-bit pipeline, 4 GB. But the fact that it could fit two 70mm fans is quite astonishing because the size is only 174mm or 6.85 inches in length, which is a super compact form. So if you look in depth at the Geforce 1050 Ti Zotac card, hi there, it's me typing. Smiley face. Okay. Alright, back to the presentation. Yep, okay. So this is obviously based on NVIDIA Pascal architecture. And the design is quite plain and simple, but by no means is this any weaker than the others. In fact, this is one of the three fastest 1050 Ti's. And I think it's a no-frills approach to a really compact solution. And the design is quite simple, and I actually like this design. In fact, most of my Zotac cards have actually held up really well, and a lot of them are actually quite dust-free because of the design. And I actually like Zotac's design. They're actually really good with the quality control. Of course, basically, this only has three outputs: HDMI, DVI-D, and DisplayPort. But that's to be expected of such a small footprint, such a small size, form factor. And we look at the back, obviously with no backplate. And the interesting about this Zotac's OC overclocking edition card is, apart from all the basic specs, it's basically as powerful as the other two. 768 unified shaders, CUDA cores, and this only has 75 watt power consumption, in terms that it doesn't require an additional power pin from the PSU. This is a Zotac preview of the card. Basically comes with the NVIDIA features, but this compact solution, Zotac claims, fits 99% of all PCs form factors of cases, because of the length is only 174mm or 6.85 inches in length, with two 70mm fans. The fact that it could fit two fans, and also is entirely powered by the PCIe. There's no additional power connectors required, so you could put this in any PC and make that PC a gaming PC if the CPU is powerful enough. And this is their software for overclocking, the Firestorm. And lastly, we look at the Asus Republic of Gamers Strix OC Edition card. The boost is 1506 in OC mode and 1493 in gaming mode. And we look at the memory, obviously 128-bit pipeline with 4GB DDR5. The fan is the DirectCU2 Asus patented wing blade 0 decibel design, and also 16.8 million colors in the lighting. Contains a backplate, has the Asus Fan Connect, which is the 4-pin GPU control header connected to your system fan. And that's the Asus toted industry-only Outer Extreme technology. And comes with the software GPU Tweak 2, and also I think a 14-day or 30-day XSplit Gamecaster subscription. And we look at the design of the card. It's quite plain in terms of color, but very, very understated and very, very nice actually in terms of the shape. From different angles you can see it's quite a beautiful design. That's the back plate, all black but with accents. And this is the output, which features two DVI-D, one DisplayPort, and one HDMI output. The Asus Strix has more in common with the G1 Gaming, as they both have 90mm fans, backplates, and LED lighting, except the G1 Gaming has an extra lighting in terms of the fan connect. Also, the Asus is different with a feature called the Asus Fan Connect, which allows a 4-pin GPU control header connected to a system fan for optimal cooling. So all these specs are reminiscent of a 1050 Ti specs, and the output is 2 DVI-D ports, 1 HDMI and 1 display port, so a total of 4 outputs. And this requires one 6-pin power connector. So this is 241 millimeters minus 174, so this is about 67 millimeters longer than the Zotac offering, Zotac's card. So although Zotac's card is fast but basic, it's also very compact. So this is the overview of the Strix, angular design. We should look at other pictures to confirm the finishing, whether it's more matte or more shiny than you expect. And looking at the blow-up diagram of the construction, there's the backplate, the direct CU2, the patented wing blade 0 decibel fans, the lighting, and the outer extreme technology, which is 100% automation by Asus. In Unigine Heaven 4.0, there's a 5.5% increase in FPS, and Rise of the Tomb Raider sees a 4.8% increase, or 2 frames per second. And this is the direct CU2 technology, which advertises a 30% cooler and 3 times quieter performance, which basically is just the direct contact of the heat pipes. And this is a patented dual wing blade 0 decibel fans, supposedly has 105% more pressure. And this is a unique, I think it's a pretty cool selling feature with the Asus Fan Connect, which allows you to connect a system fan for targeted supplemental cooling, a 4-pin. And this is the outer extreme technology, which is unique to them in the industry. It's the only 100% automated production process. So basically all the process in the production line is automated, and these are the key features of that process. They remove human fallibility from production, along with other points. The Strix utilizes a 4+1 phase, which is also the same as Gigabyte. As Gigabyte G1 Gaming also uses a 4+1 phase. And this is all the features of the Asus design and components. And here we come to the Aura RGB lighting, or basically Asus's take on RGB lighting. So basically these are the 6 effects, which is one effect more than Gigabyte's G1 Gaming. There's static, breathing, strobing, which is in Gigabyte there's flash and double flash, color cycle, but with its Strix you have the additional music effect, which is the effect while you're playing music, and the GPU temperature effect, which scales the color according to your GPU load. And basically there's a 14-day XSplit Gamecaster license that comes along with purchasing this card, along with all the software that comes with the Asus as featured here.